What's up guys, NepentheZ here, and welcome back to another 130 draft challenge where once again today we are going to spin the wheel of destiny to see how many drafts we are going to complete. I have reduced the percentages of the 6 drafts by a couple of ticks here or there, so there's barely over a 50% chance now of 6 drafts. But guys, if you're enjoying the content here on the channel, feel free to drop a thumbs up. Hey, it's going to be 7. Listen, is it 8? That's actually quite close to the 50 to be fair. It's more than normal. Right, so 7 drafts inbound, guys. As always, thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you for joining me on this journey of drafting. Let's take the 4-5-1 attaché, 1 of 7. Okay, I'm going to start with 95 Ronaldo, even though Ronaldo has a 99. And we're going to see today if we today can get a 1-3-0 today. And I think I start this almost every draft now by saying this exact same line. I'm getting sent so many 130s now, it's actually getting frustrating. Given the fact that last year, the 129, like the 130 draft challenge last year, was the final challenge. There was no 131 challenge. The fact that we know for a fact this year that a 131 challenge is coming is a bit exciting, but it's also a bit frustrating that everybody else is starting to get them a lot more commonly. Give me that 98, gorgeous. Georges goes in there. Yeah, a lot more commonly, and I still am yet to get. Now, we got Mamardashvili in there. I really like him because he's got centre mid as well, which is great. He's also got a pretty fun dynamic. If you guys, of course, however, are enjoying the content here on the channel and wouldn't mind dropping a thumbs up, it would be greatly appreciated. And if you could leave a like on the video, give me that. What a selection of keepers, by the way. But I'll take that, Allison. Yeah, if you could drop a thumbs up on the video, it helps in the algorithm. It's changed relatively recently with YouTube algorithm. Likes didn't used to matter. They did matter, then they didn't matter, then they did matter. Like, it gets changed every few years, and now things like that matter again. So if you could hit that thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. Yeah, I've got some comments from yesterday's draft. We were talking a little bit about the wheel of destiny, and how after footies, what day is it today? Monday. So we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to go. And then after footies, we're going to introduce a wheel. We're going to have 3 weeks of challenges on the wheel, and everyone will get completed. It will be a matter of which one and when, because as we complete one, we'll remove it off the wheel. We might have a few like red herrings in there as well. Give me that Black Stenius. Well, how about that, guys? My OBS crashed, but the file saved up until I was talking about some, red herring, like for example, drafting for 4 hours, a nice big long 4-hour video, but also some kind of like some green flags in there, like just a standard 6 draft challenge, something like that. So Irene Paradis and 99 Perlo on the bench. This is a good starting 11 apart from the left back, which is quite nice. So yeah, I'm excited to read through some of the suggestions that we do have today. We're going to take Black Stenius off for Ruben Neves. I actually think Sumanen should probably go back in. This is going to be a huge draft, to be fair. Other than the left back and the right back, unfortunately, the draft is good. The bench is pretty poor. The reserves have got some solid players on there. We get 91 Carvalho. He does not get onto the starting 11. And then last but least, we get Kedira. So let's put Black Stenius on. This, the draft. Dare I say it one more time, guys. Probably not for the first time today, guys, either. But this draft is being cucked again by the bench. How mad is that? And the chemistry as well, to be fair. But anyway, let's get into attempt number 2 of 7 for today, and see what you guys had to say for some challenges. If you want to use the best players in FC25, there's only one sure way to get them. U7buy.com gives some of the best prices around for you to buy Ultimate Team coins. It's fast, safe, and reliable, and if you use code NEP at checkout, you will get 8% off their prices. So check the link in the description. All right, so the top comment is from Church. Take me to church. Let's go for the 4-3-3 at hash A. It says drafting until you get a 130 or giving up, but you have to wear a Spurs shirt. Yeah, I just would never give up. I would just carry on. Ain't no way. Ain't no sunshine when ain't no way I would wear a Spurs shirt for something like that. Are you crazy, fam? Sumsy says a draft challenge could be that you have to get a full team Nordi Mukiele with 0 chemistry, which may not be easy as most cards have premium chemistry now. I mean, it would be easy because we would just do players out of position, but if they had to also be in position, that could be quite fun. Harry Kane 98 is there with Rice and Thuram as well. Nice. This draft's pretty poor to start with, though. Liquid Hill says, can we get a NEP translated draft? Trying to get the most players on the list, on that list in the draft. Yeah, I quite like that, to be fair. Taking what Juandez did before, or Junadez. Oh, is that... he said another one. Juandez is Junadez. Is that what your name is? Junadez, not Juandez. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I like that. Trying to get as many memes into one draft as possible. That's a fun one to have on there. Give me that Gomez, baby. For the... oh, nice. Udogi. Ewan says, for the will after footies, do a draft with the aim of having a starting 11. Oh, Alisson again. That includes a player with each overall rating from 88 to 99. Isn't that 12 ratings? Hold on, I'm going to have to do this on my fingers. 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Oh, yeah, that is 12 ratings. It is 12 ratings. I was right. Woo. It'd have to be 89 to 99. But yeah, we can do that. Hakimi goes on to the bench. We need a couple big midfielders here, but this draft is all right. We need a couple of big attackers as well. But we could be pushing up if we get something nice off the reserves here. Let's find out. We got the Numbskull, great name. I'm going to take Maradona, even though I shouldn't, because he's got a bigger card. Well, we're going to do it anyway. Hey, Nep, thanks for the consistency and effort. Thank you very much. You are putting into your draft videos. It helped me pass time during my summer while I got ready for school, college, graphic art design, and design for the game development program. GG's, that's something. And keep me entertained and not laying sluggishly in bed all day. Keep up the great work. Hope you get the 130 soon enough. Haven't finished the video yet, so no spoilers. Lol. Yeah, me too. Me too. Oh, Trinity. Rodman, 98. You can go in over Grincha. This, I said it just a minute ago. I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to say it many more times. This bench is going to kill me. Could have been a 99 curable Steria, couldn't it? But no, had to give me the 95. And we are going to be looking at a really good starting 11 again. And a really poor bench again, which is really annoying. It's not the best starting 11, though. We don't have a 99. We only have 3 98s. Although I say only 3 98s, that's a lot of 98s, to be fair. And then we get 97 Angers. Or we could take Swanson, yeah. But nah. Angers. Angers, yeah. And then give me some more chemistry. And then if I wanted full chemistry, I could get it. Good. Let's put Harincha on over Shaq. He goes down there like that. They swap around. Bish bash bosh. I actually don't have the full chem there. That's quite mad. There we go. That's the full chem right there. Bosh. Delightful, NepentheZ. You are very good at drafting. Well done. Well done, you. All of that for a big old 128. Yeah. A big old 128. I'll see you in the next one. Mark says, for a challenge on the wheel, you should do like a beat a 50 million coin squad, but can only include the starting 11 and bench. Reserves not counted. With the market this year, I don't know if 50 million coins is too high or too low. Maybe open to discussion what a good price would be. Yeah, I like that. Like a... go for the 3-4-3 flat. Like a challenge of the value of the cards. Because then in a situation like this, like... even though we're going to take him anyway. No, we're not. You know, Vinicius Jr. might just be the most expensive player. That I quite like. However, I don't like the next suggestion, which is from Boost. And he says twerking whilst being oiled up should be on the wheel. Probably not going to add that one, if I'm being honest. If I'm just being upfront about it. That one most likely will not be on the wheel. So yeah, and then Real Madrid fan. Real Madrid fan. Hi Kearney. Is that right? That sounds wrong. Says, I know you won't add this, and you are right. Your suggestion will not be added. But a 24-hour draft challenge on the wheel. I mean, it's a fun, hard, and extravagant suggestion. It's not hard so much as it is just not engaging. I would drive myself insane drafting for 24 hours. Sometimes when we do like the insert number draft challenge, and it gets like 1 or 2 hours in, I already just lose mad interest. Now here we are anyway with attempt number 3 today, Steve, and it's not going swimmingly, is it? This draft is awful. This is number 3 of 7 today. I think I'll reduce the 6 draft stints as well tomorrow even more. Maybe add a few more. Maybe increase a few more of the other ones. Try and pick ourselves up a bit of a better draft. Nat says, listening to you read out everyone's comments about how they found you. How did you find me? What do we got here? Nothing too great. Nat says, I'm 29 in 2 weeks, and I discovered you by watching NepentheZ the FIFA player. Back in day, mate. Watched you ever since and find you very entertaining. My favourite series ever was your World Cup 2014 game mode. Keep up the good work, mate. Yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah, Spencer Owen, man, the GOAT, the FIFA player, if you didn't know. Spencer Owen, most of you did know, but some of you didn't. That World Cup 2014 series I did, that was the first time I had an actual series kind of go real viral. Like, every video I uploaded, it was getting like 100,000 views in the first like 20 minutes. It was crazy. Most of those episodes got like 2, 3, or even 400,000 views. It was crazy. I was super grateful for that series because there was always a few bits and bobs here and there that kind of like were the staples of my channel and helped me grow and kind of like set me apart from maybe other creators that were around and that were out there. And yeah, the World Cup one, that game mode anyway, was so sick. It was so sick, wasn't it? It was banging. Let's pop him in over there. And it's a shame that they don't do more things like that. And it's one of the reasons why I'm getting really, really, really ready for FC 26, because, you know, having things like tournaments back, having things like the Gauntlet, they just sound like things that I really love. And, you know, that World Cup game mode was most certainly something that I really loved. It's going to be a 9-6. How was that not? So, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it for that. And I wonder if... I don't know if there's any room anymore for somebody to just be kind of put on the map for creating content on a game. I think you really have to have, like, a full-blown personality now. You know, think like Castro. Think like Angry Ginge. You know, think like Danny Aarons. Like, these guys are just quality content creators, and they track views regardless of what game they're playing, what thing they're doing, what kind of endeavor they're engaging in. It just breeds views because they are super entertaining. I don't think I'm there. Because I think if I was there, I would be there. I would have got that already. So I wonder if there's ever going to be another thing in the game where people are just like, oh my god, like, this is exceptional. But the way like YouTube works now, is like, if I did do something that really took off, it would be replicated 20 times by 20 different creators within 2 days. Whereas before, you kind of used to have your thing and nobody would touch it because it was your thing. They would find their thing. So interesting, anyway, to think about. As we go into attempt 4, guys, here's an interesting one. And I've spoken on this topic, actually, many, many times. But I'm going to do it again because, hey, who knows if you're new or have heard it before. Matty says, hey, Nep, I've been watching daily for the last 8 to 9 years. I love your content and find it so engaging. You've made me adapt my game and given me so much knowledge on many different things. So keep up the amazing work, and much love to you and your family. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the kind words. And second of all, the whole adapting your game and giving knowledge thing, it's a really interesting one because I think I would be a brilliant coach at FC, because although I might not have the skill set myself to adapt. Although I may not have the dexterity or the decision making anymore to adapt, I certainly see the way people play and think this thing is here. Like one of the wow, what a selection, Eric Cantona. Like for example, I was watching Josh play the FC26 beta last night. He was screen sharing with me on Discord, and it was just fascinating to watch him play, because it's really interesting when you are a viewer. You kind of see the bigger picture a lot, right? Whereas when you're the player, you're kind of like hyper focused on that particular player that you're controlling. Or if you want to pass, let's say, to the left wing, you just let's go Irene Paredes. You get kind of hyper focused on what you want to do and kind of ignore everything else. And it's a lot easier as like a kind of a spectator to be like, oh, by the way, every time you're on the left-hand side, like your right wing is just constantly miles open. So maybe try and get a quick pass inside and then a chip through ball out to the right wing. It'll create some space. Or, you know, you could say easy things like, you know, like when I was actually watching Josh, he was just holding the ball a little bit too long in the midfield, and it allowed his opponent constantly to kind of close down the space. And I'm thinking, if you just laid that pass in first time, you would have created a bit more space and a bit more creativity offensively. This draft is cooking, by the way, guys. 98, gorgeous Georges in at CDM right there. This is a banger of a draft. We need a new right back, a new right centre mid, a right wing and a left wing, and we are good to go. Give me some 99s. And so, yeah, ultimately, I think and I feel, because therefore I am, I think and I feel like I'd be a really good coach on that regard. But I also think, like, I should have a coach, so to speak. Like, not necessarily like an actual coach per se, but more somebody to just point those things out when I'm hyper focused in what I'm doing, to be able to just sit there and say, oh, by the way, if you just do this, then you will do that. And I've sometimes I'm receptive to it on stream, and sometimes I'm really not. Sometimes I'm just a bit of an arse, and people will be like, oh, Nep, you should do this. And I'm like, you think I don't know that? And I'll just rip somebody's head off for no good reason. But when I'm receptive to it, it does end up making me a better player. And it's really interesting that, I just find it really interesting, the whole aspect of, like, you know, sometimes you get some of the best managers in the world weren't the best players in the world. And so I do think, like, I know a lot about this game. Whether or not I can apply it or not is an entirely different thing. But I know a lot about this game, and being able to utilize that in a coaching manner could be fun. Now then, this draft first 11, apart from Babajide up at left wing, is very good. But as per the bench, it is very bad. Nice. We can get Babajide off now. We can do that. That takes us to a 95. I'd be very surprised if this is not a 129. Damn, man. Holy Stan. Do you know what I mean? You do that. Do that. Who's off chem? Just the Arsenal women. Just need a... Wow, guys. This draft has a little bit of potential. I do think we are a bit shy still. Yeah, it's not going to be it. Not going to be it. It is definitely not far off. You know, the starting 11, honestly sensational. We've got 5 98s in the starting 11. Nothing lower than a 95. But the bench, 90, 91, 92, 93, 93, 93, 94. That is disappointing, but that is an absolutely banger of a draft. Let's go and get into attempt number 5. All right, attempt 5, guys. Aaron says, Nep, what would you think if EA and FC26 they increased the draft entry to 30k or even higher, but in return they completely revamped the whole draft experience? I'm talking better, more consistent rewards, a higher rated draft leaderboard, a tweak to the knockout system so you're guaranteed at least 2 matches before elimination, seasonal draft objectives with unique packs or cosmetics, themed draft weeks, e.g. icons only, leagues and nations, post-draft stat tracking so you can compare builds and performance over time. Feels like it could make draft one of the best game modes in the game again. Yeah, so I was actually watching the Foot Weekly podcast with Ben and Josh as hosts, and they had on this week. Shouldn't have taken that Martina, should I? Jamie, or he was from the past. Jamie and Richard, I think. No, who? Yeah, is Richard Waltz? I think his name is. Beg your pardon. If I'm wrong, I do apologise. I'm pretty sure it was Richard. And they were kind of talking about draft, and they were speaking on the fact of like wanting to hear more from what we actually want from the draft, because they love the game mode. And I was like, first of all, I found it interesting that they love the game mode and like the idea behind it, because I love the game mode. Like gorgeous Georges again. I really love the drafting system. I like the knockout phases. I love the fact that it's seeded. It's not always as sweaty. You know, you can come on draft and win some rewards and have some fun with it. And or you could come on in the draft, get like a good game, and then the next game get absolutely slapped, right? And I like that. But it's a bit of a mixed bag. And it's probably why I've always gravitated to the draft more so than anything else. You know, one of the first things I always do on the new game is go and play a draft, right? We've either got a Nars Dottier here for centre-back, yes. Could have taken Casper Rees to go at right mid, but we needed that boost there. And, yeah, they asked for kind of like ideas, I guess. Like, I don't want to put words in their mouth and say that they don't know what to do with the draft. I just think they don't know what people actually want from the draft. I like the things you suggested, like tweaking the knockout system, kind of making it like Gauntlet instead, right? So no matter what, you play 4 games, and based on how many wins you get out of that 4 games, you yeah, based on how many wins you get out of that 4 games is where you get your reward. That would be nice, because imagine if you're like, imagine if you have spent like your 15k onto the draft, right? What do we need more? A centre back, a right back, or a centre mid? 6 and 2, 3. So we'll take Thuram. We actually need a left back. We could do that. Yeah, imagine if you're like not great at the game, and you put your 15k into draft, and you build a draft, and you know, let's say it's just an absolute Calimundo, an absolute banger of a draft. And you're there like, oh, so sick. Can't wait to use this draft. And then, you know, 30 minutes into round 1, you're 5-0 down to an absolute hyper sweat. You're just not going to have a fond memory of that. And you're going to be like, well, I'm not doing that again. What a waste of coins, right? So I really like the idea of guaranteeing the 4 games played and then basing the rewards on the number of wins that you got. One thing that I would like to see, so there's, I spoke about this before, but this is a really good place to kind of like speak on it again specifically. One of the things I would really like to see is a good bench. Is on the captain's choice, it should just be, and I know we've talked about this a fair few times, but the captain's choice genuinely should be 5 of the perceived best players in the game in that moment. It just should be. So as soon as Team of the Years go into the game, into packs, Captain's Choice should just be absolutely plagued with Team of the Years, right? That's number 1. And let's carry on talking whilst we go and clear the draft off this time. That's number 1. Number 2 is 2 sections of the draft. So you've got your starting 11, your 7 bench players, and then you've got 5 reserves. 2 of those reserve spots should be from your club, right? And it could be anything. And that way, 2 is not overbearing. And also, if you've got a really deep club, you might end up getting absolutely no one of value. But that could then allow you to potentially bring in an Evo player, an SBC player, an objective player, or even just like a quality card that you had in your club that doesn't show up in draft very often. All of a sudden, you could bring that player into the draft. So just 2 options. It's not going to change the whole like integrity of what the draft is. It's not going to change too dramatically people's teams. You know, it's not like all of a sudden everyone's draft is going to basically be from their club. Not that that would necessarily be a problem, because that's what people do in like all of the other game modes and stuff. But yeah, I really like the idea of being able to be like, okay, these last 2 slots, maybe I can get my Evo card in, or a couple of Arsenal players to play with, or hey, there's an objective out there that I want to complete and I've got the opportunity to do it. That would be good. The next thing I think would be really good is that after every round you play, you should get to swap one of your players for one of your opponent's players. If you play all 4 games, it doesn't quite work out. But if, let's say, every game you win, like, let's say, like, I've got Cengiz Under up at right wing and he's in my draft as the main, like, the main player, or in the final, like, 11, and I win the first game, and my opponent had, you know, 98 Garrincha at right wing, but I've managed to beat him. At the end, give me the option to pick a player from his draft to replace a player in my draft. So as you go through the rounds, you can kind of, like, strengthen your team. You can improve areas where you're maybe a little bit lacking, like, you know, things like that. That would be real cool. I really like the idea of, like, different / better rewards. And as you've spoken on already there, I really like the idea of, like, draft leaderboards. Yeah, tweaking the knockout. Oh, the goalkeepers are coming in big for us. Tweaking the knockouts system. Just more history, man. Just more lore. That's what we're looking for. We just want to know. I want to know, like, like, I could probably make, like, a comprehensive understanding of the things I would love to see. I'm sure some of them would be possible and some of them wouldn't be. Pop him up at right wing. But ultimately, yeah, like, they don't even have to make, like, unbelievably impactful changes straight away for it to just feel like a fresh game mode. You know, Cam Chuck. She can go up front. It can just be some little nuanced additions first and then build on it from there. You know, that I think would be quite cool. However, as we end draft 6 here, this draft hasn't been so great. The previous draft wasn't so great. We've had a few decent starting 11s here today, and as per usual, a few really poor benches. It will come together eventually. We did have a huge draft that could have been a 130 today. Draft 1 or draft 2, I can't remember what one it was. But ultimately, it wasn't. So it didn't, and it didn't mutt the custard, you know. And so once we exchange the trash for the good here, maybe it's another 95 rated draft, and they are becoming very easy to populate now. 95 rated drafts. Is this one as well? No, it is not. Let's get into attempt number 7 for today to close out the video. All right, guys, the last draft for today. And we are going to has as a formation. Let's do the 4-3-3 Rob Holding. Is this the one where we got a really good draft last time, or was it the 4-3-3 defensive? I can't remember. Either way, let's end with a banger, please, EA. Let's end with a banger. We get 95 Fabinho. Not awful. Not great, though. Not awful. Ay, Kundananji. We need a big 98/99 centre mid now. We'll take 96 Sumanen, and then also a big 97 plus CDM. Ut is only the one there for us. These kind of like purple team of the season cards, they just need to disappear now, don't they? They're all 91 or 92 rated. They all let the team down massively. They don't help with rating. They don't help with chemistry. At least some of the team of the seasons are like 95, 96, 97 rated. We've got 97 Denzel Dumfries there as well, which is quite good. Pop Pepperina in there. 93 rated off that first 11. Matt Sells goes in, bit extra chem there, bit extra rating there as well. 96 Swanson. In she goes. In a left back, very nice, Trebillon. We get 98 Carlos Alberto. Trebillon. Suit can swap. Nobody dopares me. He's just so fresh, so clean. Ugh. Naz. Lucky. Abili 93. She gets in there for some chemistry. Does upgrade the rating too. Riquelme is not good for me. And not good for you. This draft's going nowhere, guys. This draft's going nowhere. Bussy can go over on that left-hand side spot. Gives us full chem. It's a 1-2-6 at the moment. We get Zanetti or Sen. take Zanetti just because he offers more across the board in terms of positionals. It's not going to make any difference. So it is up to a 94 rated. We get 96 Marta. You can go at striker. Striker, Grove. Yeah. And then last but not least, we can get Gwyn. And once again, the bench is trouble. Is it even a 95? It's not. Guys, for a starting 11 to have 2 97s, 198 and 3 96s, to still only be a 94 overall is crazy. However, that is going to be the end of today, see? And I will see you guys tomorrow for another one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.